Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time checking in, please click that subscribe button down below. Also, a like goes a long way in helping support my channel. So this is a big video that I've actually been waiting to put out for a while. Finally, my conclusion with my battle with GM over the vibration in my truck. I had a whole series on this, the GM Chevy Shake series on my channel. There's quite a bit of about a dozen episodes in that series, basically just going through my entire process with trying to get this truck fixed. So long story short, GM has agreed to cut me a check for $13,000, and I've been waiting to come out with this information as I was just kind of letting everything settle out, to give you an idea of how this whole thing transpired from the negotiation standpoint. I did file a Better Business Bureau claim, a lemon law claim, and GM was absolutely refused to acknowledge or agree to handle anything with this truck at all. They basically said I had no problem and brushed me off. So with that being said, I actually posted a review on Yelp of my dealership experience with this truck, and somebody else locally gave me the name of an attorney that they were using in a similar case with the same dealership. So I reached out to that attorney, and I signed him up pretty much within a couple days, and he got to work. He told me that my case was good, but he was a little concerned about the mileage on my truck. If you followed this series, I started posting videos on this on another personal channel that I had back February 6th of 2016, which was a couple weeks after I got the truck, and it's been all the way up through basically the 32,000 miles. Is the problem has never gone away, so basically up till the point where I'm at now. So the attorney filed a claim with GM, and we started going back and forth. And for anybody else who's going through a similar experience where they might be trying to get more insight onto how to go about doing this whole process, the attorney basically filed a claim with GM, notifying them that we were going to either settle this out of court or take it to court, which I fully intended on having to take it to court, and I was okay doing so. GM at that point basically said, yes, you know, you have a valid claim that we will acknowledge and start moving forward with. So it was funny because GM's corporate center said, you don't have a case, and they weren't even interested in entertaining a case. But their legal department right away said, okay, you have a case, and we'll, let's open up dialogue. So at that point, I cut off kind of everything that I was doing as far as pushing videos and all that stuff out. I kind of ended all of it for the time being. So before I get into how the negotiations worked with GM, I kind of want to tell you where I wanted this case to go to begin with, my purpose of taking it to court. Obviously, if you're going to take something to court, you have an idea of an end goal. And my end goal was to have GM basically just take this truck back and me be done with it, because a financial settlement still stacks me with the burden of getting rid of it. I can't sell it privately because it vibrates, and if I do that, then I'm a hypocrite because I'm mad that GM sold me a vibrating truck. How can I turn around and do the same thing to somebody else without disclosing it? Obviously, if I disclose it, I'm going to take a huge financial hit that this thing vibrates. So I also take the same thought process into trading it into a dealership. You trade it into a dealership, they are going to take a look at it. They'll take it down the street. They won't even take it on the highway, so they won't know it vibrates. If I disclose to them it vibrates, they're going to whack me down on trade. If I don't disclose to it, they're going to send it off to an auction after they take it in. Somebody else is going to buy it, and somebody else is going to be dealing with the same problem. I have an email from somebody stating that exact scenario of they bought a used GM truck off the lot. It's vibrating, and the dealership is doing nothing about it. That used truck, more likely than not, came from a dealership that bought that truck out of an auction, because dealerships don't tend to put the cars they buy in trade on their lots. They tend to send them off to auction. That's how they also get their cars out of auction, or lease buybacks go to auction. That's how these things work. So this person had that situation. I don't want to do that to somebody else. That's kind of my position. So for my negotiation standpoint, I want GM to take this truck back and me be done with it. So now we go into negotiations with GM, and it kind of happened a little faster than I would have thought that they would have moved. And on January 3rd, they offered me $8,000. Now, $8,000 sounds like a lot of money, and right away I was like, wow, it's $8,000. It's not enough as far as what I was looking for this case to settle for. We counter at 15. GM comes back the following day, January 4th, and they offered 9. So their original offer was 8. They offer 9. And again, the thought process of the cut to the attorney, and it's not enough. So we go and play ball. We then counter at 14. So they start at 8. We counter at 15. They counter at 9. We counter at 14. So they're coming up $1,000. I'm dropping $1,000. And my best and final is 13, because 13 has me walking away with around 10. Is that what I wanted? No. But is that enough to walk away? Probably. Are they going to accept it? Probably not. I figured that they weren't going to take it. And at that point, I was ready just to go to court and say, let's just take this to court and see where it goes. So this was January 9th. January 19th, my attorney sends me an email and says, GM accepted the offer for $13,000, which blew my mind. And I still had the opportunity at that point to say, I will accept or decline, and let's take it to court or not. And talking to my wife, we decided that it was probably enough to avoid the risk of going to court and getting nothing. So really, you're kind of in an all or nothing. We could have maybe got 2 to 3 times what we were offering, or we could have got nothing. And I didn't want to play that all or nothing game. So we decided to accept. Everything has been signed. Everything has been sent back to General Motors, and now we wait for the check. So I just wanted to update everybody on where this has ended. Now, what happens to this truck after the check comes, I'm unsure. I'm still looking at getting out of it, because keeping it to me is not really as much of an option. I might hold on to it for a little bit, but I just wanted to update everybody and let you know that this has been resolved, and give you a little bit of a backstory about how it was resolved and how the negotiation worked. Again, if you're tuning in and you've been following these videos of this specific series of my GM Chevy Shake series, I really appreciate your viewership. Again, click that subscribe button down below. A like goes a long way to help support the channel. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.